At some point in building income, most people believe the next step is control. More dashboards, more rules, more precision. They assume that if income feels unstable, the solution is tighter grip. But ownership doesn't reward control the way people expect. It rewards judgment. And that's where the difference between running systems and controlling systems becomes visible. Running an income system means you're involved in its operation. You make decisions, adjust inputs, respond to outcomes. The system works, but it still leans on you. Controlling a system means something else entirely. It means trying to force outcomes instead of shaping conditions. And while that can work in the short term, it quietly undermines long-term income. The paradox is this: the more you try to control an income system, the less resilient it becomes. Because control reduces adaptability. Running income systems is about participation. Controlling income systems is about interference. Early on, interference feels helpful. You step in quickly. You override processes. You fix problems manually. Income responds immediately, which reinforces the behavior. But over time, the system stops learning. It waits for you. Every time you override a process, you remove the system's opportunity to adapt. Every time you manually solve a recurring issue, you teach the structure that it doesn't need to improve. Control feels productive, but it freezes intelligence. This is why mature income systems behave differently. Owners don't try to control outcomes. They control boundaries. What the system is allowed to do, what it is not allowed to risk, what must happen automatically, what requires human judgment. That distinction is subtle, but critical. Running systems require attention. Controlled systems require compliance. Owned systems require constraint. Income systems grow stronger when you limit their options, not when you micromanage their behavior. This is where many entrepreneurs get stuck. They build income systems strong enough to operate, then unknowingly weaken them by over-controlling. They intervene too quickly. They optimize before patterns settle. They correct variance instead of studying it. So the system never develops confidence. It becomes dependent, and dependent systems don't compound. They perform only while supervised. This is also why control often masquerades as responsibility. I can't let this break. I need to step in. It's faster if I do it myself. Those instincts feel protective, but long-term, they increase fragility. Because every manual save is a signal that the system cannot be trusted to recover. An income system you must constantly control is not yet owned. Ownership doesn't remove involvement. It changes where involvement happens. Owners don't manage outcomes. They manage environments. They design conditions where correct behavior is the easiest behavior. Defaults matter more than decisions. What happens when nothing is touched? What does the system do on an average day? How does it behave when demand dips? Those questions tell you whether you're running or controlling. Control focuses on preventing mistakes. Ownership focuses on ensuring mistakes don't matter. That's a massive shift, because no income system avoids error forever. But resilient systems absorb error without collapsing. This is where control quietly becomes expensive. The tighter the grip, the more brittle the structure. Any unexpected change causes disproportionate damage. A platform tweak, a market shift, a demand fluctuation. Controlled systems snap. Run systems bend. Owned systems adapt. Income compounds in systems that can absorb surprise without requiring heroics. This is also why owners often feel less busy than operators. They intervene less. not because they care less, but because the system no longer needs constant correction. Their work shifts to watching patterns over time. What repeats? What recovers? What quietly degrades? They resist the urge to fix immediately. They allow feedback to surface. Because feedback is how systems learn, control suppresses feedback. Ownership listens to it. And listening is how income systems mature. This is especially important once income is meaningful. When people rely on it, when obligations exist, when time matters. At that point, control increases risk instead of reducing it. Because human attention doesn't scale, but systems do. Only if allowed. The goal of ownership is not to eliminate variance. It's to ensure variance doesn't threaten survival. That's the line. Running systems keeps income alive. Controlling systems keeps income obedient. Owning systems makes income durable. And durability is what allows growth to become boring. Predictable, uneventful, reliable. Those words don't sound exciting, but they are the vocabulary of real wealth. If income only works when perfectly managed, it's fragile. If income works when conditions are average, it's stable. If income works when conditions are bad, it's owned. That's the difference. So if you're asking whether you're running or controlling your income system, don't look at how busy you are. Look at how often the system surprises you. Surprise reveals dependence. Stability reveals ownership. And ownership is where income finally stops demanding your constant attention and starts responding to your design instead.